Okay, I'm with Lena. I have let her know that I have carrots, but I've not given her one. So we're gonna see what Lena does. Gracie's in the background shuffling around. And let's find out how she reacts to being ignored and if she decides to steal my carrots or not. And if I have to tell her something, how many times do I have to tell her? How loud do I have to tell her? And what will she do afterwards? I think I know what's going to happen. So we'll see how this goes. But this time I brought a book with me because I didn't see any squirrels around. And yeah, I've been meaning to read this book for a little while. Again, this is my second time reading it. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, everybody, we are in this with Lena. This is a bit of a shorter one. Lena was a lot different than the other horses, but she's still got her own little behaviors that I think we can learn a little bit about her from. I think the best thing I could say really about Lena is just she is the absolute sweetie. She has always been this type of horse that's got, you know, her own opinion and her own set of behaviors that you sort of have to know and be aware of. But she's never been one to ever be dangerous, you know, some horse that would ever try to bite or kick or push you over or run through you kind of thing. She is very respectful and conscientious of people's space, especially if you've sort of managed that from the get-go. You say, this is my space. She just gets it, and she's not the type of horse that ever thinks that she should really go past that. I don't know what kind of upbringing she had, but it's a good one, in my opinion. You can see here, she just sort of checks me out. She wasn't going to come down and away from her hay bag, so I go up to her. She's like, "Oh, are you here for some scratches?" You can see how you'll see a pattern in this video. She's constantly checking out my hand, much more than my pockets. And I only had to give her one warning. It comes up in a little while here. One small warning when she starts to sort of reach for my pockets a bit more, but she seemed much more keen on getting some grooming done rather than getting fed. And as I was reading, I mean, I enjoyed this book. I had no problem just standing around reading, hanging out with her. But it did occur to me that she probably wasn't drawn enough, unlike the other horses who all had food as well, drawn enough to those carrots. The idea that she could get some free tasty food out of me, or even those scratches, or just hanging out. And she was quite comfortable just eating. So I thought, you know, I better move this hay bag, and then she'll have nothing else to do. We'll see how she acts after that. And I don't have a problem with this. I think a lot of people have asked whether or not my horse would hang around with me if I didn't have any food on me. And I think Lena would be one of those horses that she'd just eat her hay. She'd be cool with that. And I'm cool with that. I think that's a very comfortable thing. Others would hang out. I'd be just continuously asking for whatever. You can see now she's got no hay in a hay bag with a little bit left on the ground. So she checks me out, she's double checking I'm not gonna go get her hay bag maybe, and then cleans up and then comes out. And the first thing she does is walk past me to say, okay, well, hello, like you could scratch? How about some scratches? And I found this just fascinating about her. No other horse did this, right? No other horse started off with that. They all knew. I mean, you can see a carrot sticking out of my pocket. So if you can see it, she can smell it. She knows they're there. And again, she just moves forward enough. She says, I'm not paying attention to her. Says, well, I guess maybe I need to just move again. Hello? I love this about her. Lena is a fantastic, just a big love bug in that regard. I mean, mostly she's looking for her own self-comfort in a way, but she knows to look for it, and I'm actually quite happy with that. She knows to check that out. And just coming up shortly here, she gets a little too close to me, and I have to give her that just a quick warning, like all the other times, just a little flinch. She comes back and checks, and then stops, and checks again and stops, and she never gave me any more trouble. She's sniffing the carrots. She knows they're in there. She just doesn't do anything again, and I can just stand there and read my book without being mugged or run over or nothing like that. And again, more than anything, I found Lena to be one that just said, all right, I'm not getting carrots right now, but how about some scratches? Can I get a scratch or two? But she wasn't like the other horse. She didn't need to stick by and just continue to persist or pester me, which I found really nice. I like that she's older than all the other horses, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not really sure. She comes and checks out. She knows that the carrots are in there. She doesn't try anything. I didn't say anything to her. She sniffs and leaves, sniffs and leaves. And then we don't have to do anything. We just get to be together. Or I don't have to do anything. She can kind of just wander around me. But more or less, oh, see, I took my hands out. She's like, hey, those hands, oh, they're away. And she's just waiting for scratches. She's hang around with you enough. Sooner or later, you'll scratch me, right? And each time I kind of walk away, I thought I'd test. You know, will she follow? What will she do? Will she continue asking? And she did, and it was very encouraging, actually. I like that I've given her faith in that. This is a very unusual situation. By now, I'd usually be scratching her or doing something. And I knew that she was never really going to go for the carrots. After one warning, I just thought, you know, come back to me. And then you can see she's checking on my hands. She's like, what about that hand, the right hand? That's a pretty good hand. I think it's your strong hand. Why don't you take it out and give me a scratch? And of course, you can only wait so long before I'm like, all right. So I thought I would touch her on her face, but she knows when to indicate that's not what she wants. So she gives me her left ear and I scratch that. She's a big fan of that. And of course, you can't scratch the left ear without scratching the right ear. So of course, get on with that kind of stuff. And this is where Lena's in her element. She just absolutely loves a solid, long time grooming. You could do this to her all day long, guaranteed. She would be in absolute heaven. So I kind of gave up on the idea that she was ever going to go for the carrots, so I didn't have to really worry about that. What she was really going to do is just keep asking me for grooming. And in a way, that's harder for me to say no to. I have no problem saying no to carrots. I know some people get a little worried. I had one person come in and I actually had a couple of people say some very negative things about making them wait for so long. Those comments are gone. And I don't have a problem with it. And I'll explain that in a future video, but I do, in my own way, I have a harder time not helping out with their request for that physical grooming. So that's Lena. I think this has been a pretty good experiment so far. I thought I would change up the variables a little bit to having food, having no food, approaching her, walking away, seeing how often I need to say something. Very, very little. And then if she would change from being sort of carrot or food centric to being groomed centric sort of thing, like where she is right now. And I find that stuff really interesting. Just taking her mind off of the carrots. She's like, I really like the scratches. So I don't have any problems with her doing anything that puts my safety at risk. A few of you are interested in how Lena would do, so here you go. And the next horse is going to be Luke. And give that a go. Let's see what happens. Anyways, Lena's been a fantastic horse, so carrots for her. Crunch, crunch. And I think this is going to be an important series that I'll be able to conclude on, essentially for some horse psychology and human safety. Yes. So that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Question is, will she mug me now? It's like, I know where the carrots are. Can I get them? A little bit close. I don't feel in danger. You know, I don't feel worried. That's it. Okay, till next time.